On the Prince's arrival live. For now, though, good night.
Good night.
Hello, I'm Tracy Grimshaw. Welcome to A Current Affair. First, the car hoons who openly thank the Australian taxpayer for their hotted-up machines. Tonight, irresponsible drivers who claim they're sponsored by Centrelink, even boasting about it with signs on their cars. Tim Avia has our report and joins me live. Tim?
Yes, Tracy, our undercover investigation tonight will show just how dangerous and violent these thugs are. After smashing up one car and bashing its driver right in front of us, they then turned on me and our camera crew, chasing our car and trying to run us off this suburban street in the early hours of the morning by driving on the wrong side of the road and running red lights. As you're about to see, these idiots will stop at nothing to evade police and keep their meet-up secret.
It's stopping people from getting home to their families.
Illegal, dangerous and out of control.
That's where it all happens. Yeah, as long as no more pigs rock up, we should be sweet.
These are the secret undercover videos of suburban hoons on the rampage. Handing out vigilante justice.
It has to be stopped, have to be broken up, has to be addressed.
Some even boast their cars are sponsored by Centrelink. It's a take-no-prisoners society, as we find out when they discover our cameras and turn on our camera crew.
You want to be a delete it off your phone right now, you camera.
It happens every Saturday without fail. At midnight, a motorcade of hotted-up cars will drive down this road to perform illegal stunts on these public streets. It's a continual game of cat and mouse for the police who are chasing them, as well as a constant headache for neighbours worried it's only a matter of time before someone is killed. They arrive in a procession. Hundreds of people all turning up for one reason only, and it's first in, best dressed when it comes to getting a vantage point to watch the night's antics. For many, it's a family affair.
My dad did a burnout and Polly got him straight away. They knew what he was wearing and everything.
Yeah,
Knew what
followed
car he
him
was
to
driving
his
straight
house.
away.
And it never takes long for rubber to start burning. Both drivers and spectators have shocking admissions.
I almost killed myself last night.
And they boast about how police are too afraid to tackle them.
Last time there was when the cops rocked up, they pulled up in the middle here, and some fella threw a bottle when they hit their car. So yeah, it's pretty funny.
Incredibly, they even joke about the possibility their illegal meet-up could be featured on A Current Affair, not knowing we're already there undercover, filming them on hidden cameras.
That's why Polo there. We went into the industrial area, seen Polo, so we all turned around. We're going to see it on ACA next week. Tracy Grimshaw.
This P-plater with the Centrelink ute quickly gets down to business, burning through his tyre and down to the bare rim. But as the burnouts and donuts continue, the wheel becomes so hot it cuts into the road. Disaster looms as traffic approaches.
Hey mate, there's a car coming. There's a car coming.
Two men eventually push the ute off, but other cars quickly take its place.
I've got young kids and come home and, you know, Dad gets scared because you're literally driving through people and pushing them out of the road so you get through.
David Mills lives nearby and navigates through these hoon meetups to get home every week.
That freaks my kids out, which is fair enough, you know, because they're only young. And I'm not going to stop and do anything because I'm outnumbered and I've got my kids in the car. So it's scary for me and for the kids.
What happened when you went up there to confront them?
They threatened our lives with skewers, knives, tyre levers, run us over, do whatever they could because someone, you know, told them that they didn't like it.
Tonight, the Hoons are talking about this crash which just happened nearby. Captured by the Polair helicopter, police say 3 people in this car were doing burnouts and sped off to escape. But the Hoons have a different story.
They were in a stolen car and he was drunk. He was doing 220 down the road and
They nudged him or something. Apparently,
two
people
died.
died.
One broke a neck or something.
That's actually not what happened at all. The driver lost control himself and police officers saved his life.
I'll try and kick this one over, mate.
This is footage taken from police body cameras as officers pull the trapped youths out of their car. They're the same officers who get abused verbally and physically by Hoons every day.
Nice and slow. It's covered in fuel, so be careful. Good work, mate. You keep coming.
No, they didn't get out of the car.
Really?
Too many people to get out of the car. Like, everybody was standing on the corner.
Back on the streets, the Hoons are telling us tales of fights.
Were there punches thrown and everything?
Yeah, everyone was swinging at everybody over there.
And then my friend almost got hit.
And showing us videos of near misses and accidents.
There was girls standing up there and he almost hit like poles and stuff.
Did he almost hit one of the girls?
I think so, yeah.
We were only out for about an hour. Went down the local pub for dinner, come back and yeah, the yard was totally shredded.
Megan Kruger is another long-suffering neighbour. The Hoons even do donuts in her front yard. But even more terrifying are the threats made to local residents.
And the Hoons have gotten involved and said, you know, we know now where you are and stuff like that. So it is quite threatening to hear that from young people who just obviously don't care.
While we're filming the burnouts, all of a sudden the crowd starts disappearing. Word on the street is we need to move to a different location.
Where's everyone going?
Well, this is usually like the best spot.
Everyone's going to Dunn Road apparently.
When we arrive at the new location, tension is in the air. There's been an altercation on the drive over here, which quickly spills over. This man, Brody, starts throwing punches at a driver through the window of his car. While another man smashes the windscreen. The other Hoons take care of the rest of the car. For most of the night, we're able to remain undercover, filming as we walk around the crowd, as well as from inside our vehicle where no one notices. But all that changes when the Hoons begin fighting, and some of them spot this more professional handy cam that one of our camera crew is using. What happens next takes us by surprise, as things turn very ugly. Brody is still walking around high on adrenaline, boasting the women in the car are lucky he didn't bash them as well. It's at this point the group spots our camera.
Why are you videoing us?
Hey?
Apparently you were videoing us.
No, I didn't do anything.
Why were you trying to video us?
Hey?
Why were you trying to video us? Why were you videoing us?
More Hoons gather around as Brody justifies his violence.
They just tried killing us and another carload on the highway.
Really?
Yes, they deserved everything.
That's cool, that's cool.
But afraid their illegal activities have been caught on our cameras, the whole group starts getting angry.
They deserve, man.
Why are you out here with the video camera?
Just delete it, man.
Yeah, so what's the point of videoing, bro? We all skid here, you know? This is gets us in trouble.
It was only the...
Going back on us.
Other cars, meanwhile, are still doing skids. But the antics on and off the road are quickly cut short.
Well, it looks like the police have turned up. They're coming down the road and everyone's scattering. Never seen so many people move so quickly. Now it's just a matter of them all finding another spot. They'll just move locations and keep on doing the same thing.
But one Hoon still won't leave. He's determined to find out exactly who we are.
What's with the video camera?
Mate, heaps of people got video cameras.
Yeah, but no one has a video camera like you.
Hey?
No one has a video camera like you. What's different? Why do you have it?
And he desperately wants us to delete our footage.
Who do you work for?
Why don't you tell me who you work for? Camera crew in there.
With our cover exposed, we leave the Hooning hotspot as fast as we can, but still, the Hoons aren't finished with us yet. As we try to get away, one car starts to chase us, driving down the wrong side of the road and running red lights. Then, here on this street, the Hoons attempt to block our path and force us off the road. It's a dangerous manoeuvre that puts everyone's lives at risk and really reinforces why these lawless idiots need to be taken off our roads.
Tim, it's a really serious concern for the community. We have a regular monthly general meeting and the hooning is raised at every one of those meetings.
David Allen is from the Jacobs Well Progress Association and says his community is sick of the Hoons intimidating single women.
A woman driving home by herself being confronted by multiple vehicles hooning, doing donuts, etc. Very frightening event.
I wish they bring friends back.
So what we're talking about here is people committing these offences who are criminals. They're not just young people who are trying to have fun. They are criminals.
We showed our footage to Des Lacey from the Gold Coast Police, who says they will take action.
There's only one way to deal with the lawless, and that's put them in jail. Take their vehicles.
But one problem officers face is that these Hoons move location extremely quickly. It's the ongoing battle they and residents will have to fight for years to come.
How long before someone is hurt or killed?
Mate, I tell you, it won't be long.
And after watching our vision in that story, Queensland Police acted swiftly. Late today, they sent us these photos. It's the sponsored by Centrelink ute you saw doing burnouts being impounded. The 17-year-old owner was arrested and charged with dangerous operation of a motor vehicle, willful damage relating to the damage of the road, and he was also served with a vehicle defective notice. If you recognise anyone else in our story breaking the law, let us know via email. Now a hidden camera investigation exposing a cruel immigration scam. Tonight, overseas-born residents forced to pay thousands of dollars.
Thank you, Tomo. Police have launched a crackdown on cyclists in Perth CBD with alarming results. 9 News was invited on the bike blitz as our cameras captured riders ignoring basic road rules. And we're told the bad behaviour is almost constant in the city.
Morning peak hour on St George's Terrace in the CBD.
Sir, come here, thanks.
Police crack down on dozens of cyclists, a special operation on the lookout for rule breakers on 2 wheels.
The reason I've stopped you today is the way you cross a pedestrian crossing. Why are you not wearing your helmet today?
Because I don't wear one.
You're hanging on to the bus.
Just to keep up.
I know you can't do that.
19 riders were fined in the 4-hour blitz. Most cyclists fined weren't wearing helmets, were riding on a footpath or cycling through a pedestrian crossing. And it seems rule breaking by cyclists is common. There have been more than 1,000 complaints against them in the CBD in the past 4 months. Most say the riders are breaking road rules and they need to be pulled up. Pedestrians agree.
You slightly move across and they hit you right at the back and they just ride off and laugh.
Some cyclists say they're being forced onto footpaths with Elizabeth Quay constructions limiting road space. But the police minister says that's not a valid excuse.
I don't think it's linked to any particular project by any stretch. I just think that there's a changing trend in the way people are choosing to get to and from work.
Lisa Harvey says the number of offenders is alarming and drivers, pedestrians and cyclists all need to share the road.
They need to obey the road rules, just as motorists do.
Just be mindful that police will be policing cyclists within the CBD on a regular basis now.
Mia Brankov, 9 News.
Now the drink-driving doctor risking lives on our roads. She actually crashed into one of our reporters. Stephanie Jeans has the story and joins me live. Steph?
Tracy, we hear about drink drivers and irresponsible drivers all the time, but it's only when you're impacted that it really hits home. And this time it's personal because this driver crashed into me. And as you're about to see, this doctor is paid to help save lives. But that didn't stop her getting behind the wheel drunk and causing an accident that could have been fatal. And what's worse, she's a repeat road offender.
She should have gone to jail.
When she's in that state, it could have been, fatal.
You almost killed me. You could have destroyed someone's life, Gabrielle. It's people like you who destroy people's lives.
It's unintelligible. It's unacceptable.
Other people have trusted their lives with you, and you go and do this.
Her job is to help save lives.
Excuse me, I'm getting in the car.
But this trusted doctor is knowingly putting lives at risk on our roads repeatedly. I know because she could have killed me, smashing into my car at 100 kilometres an hour while driving drunk.
I think you owe me an apology. How many drinks did you have that day?
Excuse me.
Tonight, we expose this drink-driving doctor's disgraceful driving record.
Really, we place a lot of confidence in people who become our doctors, and one would think that as a responsible citizen one would know better.
It's 2 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon when a red Suzuki is wreaking havoc on this busy 3-lane motorway.
Swerving in and out of lanes, in the left-hand lane, in the right-hand lane. We thought there was going to be an accident soon.
The woman behind the wheel is driving erratically. She's swerving and drifting across the road. She cuts across one lane on this section of the highway before slamming into a white ute. And this is where it all gets very personal. Because when this drunk driver loses control, I'm in the passenger seat of the car she slams into.
Sitting in the middle lane doing 100 kilometres an hour and all of a sudden, bang, you know, I just got sideswiped.
My partner Sam is driving and Dr. Gabrielle Buckley is drunk behind the wheel. She doesn't even stop after smashing into our car. Flashing our headlights, we finally manage to pull her over. But this drink-driving doctor tries to make a getaway before police arrive.
She went to take off, but I mean, she was so intoxicated she left the handbrake on, so didn't get very far.
She was a bit all over the place, and we removed the keys from the car as she tried to drive off.
Damien Cover witnesses it all and stops to help.
And she didn't really know that she'd had an accident. She didn't know what caused the accident.
When police arrive, Gabrielle Buckley is still clearly drunk. She blows a blood alcohol level of 0.193, almost 4 times the legal limit.
Gabrielle? Hi, Stephanie from A Current Affair. Do you remember me?
No, I don't.
What's even worse, when she crashes into us, Dr. Gabrielle Buckley has already been disqualified from driving, so she shouldn't have even been behind the wheel.
You were driving unlicensed and drunk.
Excuse me.
Why did you get in the car that day, Gabrielle? How do you think I felt? You almost killed me. You don't want to say anything at all to me?
No, I do not.
This drink-driving doctor is a serial road offender. In the past 6 months, she's been caught driving whilst disqualified 3 times, even after our accident. But today, Gabrielle couldn't escape the law.
In October, Dr. Buckley was caught driving whilst disqualified. 4 months later, she's busted for high-range drink driving and charged again with disqualified driving. And incredibly, just 6 weeks after that, she breaks the law yet again, hitting the road without a licence and is booked by police.
After you've crashed into me, you've done it again. Court hasn't taught you anything.
Irresponsibility almost too hard to believe, knowing Gabrielle Buckley is a doctor at Hervey Bay Public Hospital in Queensland.
You know, I think it's crazy. A maternity doctor, you know, she's paid during the week to bring lives into the world, and then on the weekend doesn't seem to have any problem potentially taking them away.
On top of that, she's also worked as an emergency doctor, no doubt seeing firsthand devastating and deadly consequences of idiots who drink drive.
I've since learnt that you're actually a doctor at the maternity ward. You've also worked in emergency. Other people have trusted their lives with you, and you go and do this.
Driving a motor vehicle, using the roads, is a privilege. It's not a right. And we need to accept responsibility for our actions.
Gary Connolly is from the Australian Road Safety Foundation.
If you get booked by the police, you could go to jail. That's bad. If you kill someone or disable someone, you're left with that for the rest of your life. It's not worth it.
On Friday, Dr. Gabrielle Buckley was sentenced to 5 months jail, wholly suspended, so she walks free. Her conviction was recorded. She was fined $2,000 and disqualified from driving yet again for another 6 years. But after getting straight back behind the wheel after all 3 of her last driving bans, it's anyone's guess if this convicted road pest will finally obey the law or put more lives at risk by again hitting the road.
Have you learnt your lesson, Gabrielle?
Even her neighbours are finding it hard to keep up with the doctor's run-ins with the law.
Yeah, she had a bingle in the car and they took the number plates off her and she got the number plates back, and then just last week, number plates are gone again.
I find it appalling that someone in a responsible position especially, but any person would do that.
Frightening. I mean, doctors are held in such high regard in our society. Clearly she doesn't get it. And I mean, I hope this story is a wake-up for her.
I think you're lucky you escaped jail today, Gabrielle. Is it going to take prison for you to be a good driver?
Queensland Health is investigating. You can read their statement in full on our website. He's the violent car hoon caught on camera attacking other drivers, and today we tracked down Brodie without his hotted up car and his mates. Tim Avia reports.
G'day Brodie. How are you, mate? Brodie, you're running scared now after bashing a defenceless man through a window. You smashed up a car.
Big bad Brodie Sanders certainly plays the tough guy when leading his gang of thugs. Last night in our undercover investigation, we exposed the incredible behaviour of suburban hoon gangs. Caught on camera is Brodie Sanders in full rage, threatening women and smashing up a car. Then this man Mountain turns on us when he suspects he might have just been busted big time.
Why are you videoing us?
Hey?
Apparently you were videoing us.
No, I didn't do anything.
Why were you trying to video us?
Hey?
Why were you trying to video us? Why were you videoing us?
With his angry mob cheering him on, Brodie Sanders threatens both me and my cameraman.
You want to be a delete it off your phone right now. You come on.
But since last night's story, we've been contacted by viewers naming Brodie Sanders as this serial hoon who only answers to himself.
I wish I bring friends back.
And his Facebook page is certainly revealing, with Brodie pictured in a suggestive position over a police car, plus plenty of other posts involving organised hoon meetups. He's also written filthy things about women, which are too degrading to repeat here, but we can show you these, where he makes threats about who he's going to bash.
Someone tag that Sean so he knows I'm going to headbutt him. I'm over running their mouth, talking I'm going to kick you in the teeth. Each suburb needs a boxing ring, so when I want to cave some I can do it in the ring and not get in trouble.
Well, today we tracked Brodie Sanders down to get answers, and we found him standing tall at his local Centrelink office. This time, when he sees our cameras, last night's tough guy disappears, and out comes the coward.
Brodie, we've come to talk to you about your behaviour at Rocklea the other night.
Bold as brass, he denies bashing the driver of this car and throwing these brutal punches.
We saw you on video punching him.
You know what? Go away from me and use my name online. I can take you to court for that.
You can't take us to court. Brodie, you're a hoon, aren't you? You're a hoon.
I haven't had anything fight.
You've lost your licence before. Tell us about your activities.
Brodie's neighbours also complain he's crashed through their fences and leaves tyre skid marks down his own street, yet he's happy to hand out his own vigilante justice.
Them just tried killing us and another carload on the highway.
Really?
Yes. They deserved everything
that's cool, that's cool.
Seems big bad Brodie Sanders can dish it out, but can't take it.
How often do you do this? Why were you hitting him? Can you tell us why you were punching that guy, Brodie? Have you heard about coward punching, Brodie?
Queensland Police are continuing their investigations into that bashing. We'll let you know the outcome. Still to
guys. Hello again, inside their luxury 8-storey treehouse in a moment. First, for many Perth motorists, backstreet shortcuts are a way to beat the peak hour crush. But some drivers treat the suburban rat runs like a racetrack. Cyan Doherty joined police on an early morning blitz.
The rat run is that shortcut where someone is trying to get through to avoid a traffic build-up.
69 and a 40 zone.
G'day mate, having a good chat on the phone.
Peak hour in Perth, and these drivers are trying to avoid traffic jams by taking the back streets. But they're not expecting police to be there too.
She was 27 kilometres over the limit.
What's the fine for that?
It's $400 and 3 demerit points.
Just like that?
Just gone.
This morning, cops are targeting the industrial area of Canning Vale. Roadworks mean the speed limit is reduced to just 40 k's, but drivers are ignoring the signs.
People are just not getting the message.
Traffic Sergeant Simon Baxter says they're sick and tired of motorists speeding in rat runs.
They're a little bit narrower. There's cars parked on the side of the roads. The potential for a serious or fatal crash to occur is so much greater.
Today, we're joining the police blitz. Cops on unmarked motorbikes and roadside radars, targeting speed and catching it all on helmet cam.
Did you check the speed limit carefully this morning, sir? Because obviously you've missed the speed sign.
This driver's also been pulled over and clearly he's not happy.
We get all kinds of excuses that, look, I didn't see the signs. The signs are quite clear. The fact that you're in a roadworks is quite clear.
This driver says she also missed the sign, but she takes it on the chin.
It's a Specsavers moment, isn't it?
Your words, not mine, madam.
And it's not just speed landing today's drivers in strife. The unmarked motorbikes catch driver after driver on their phones.
2 unmarked motorbikes, 9 mobile phones each in less than 2 hours in one small area.
Around the corner, another 40k zone, another queue of drivers lining up to get tickets. How far over was that driver?
She's doing 64 on a 40.
So that's 24 over. What's the fine for that?
That'll be $400 and 3 demerit points.
According to Sergeant Baxter, these selfish drivers are risking not only their own lives, but the lives of others.
We've got road workers that are very unprotected.
If a worker is hit by a car at 40 k's, there's a 25% chance they'll be killed. That rises to a massive 85% if the pedestrian is hit at 60.
The whole message that we're trying to get across to people to slow down, around those areas and slow down for workers, for example, is just being lost.
Police Minister Lisa Harvey says ignoring those basic rules can be deadly.
Not wearing seatbelts, people who are distracted, they're showing up in our fatal and serious injury crashes.
And while motorists often moan about infringements being about revenue raising, according to police, it couldn't be further from the truth. They don't even mind when motorists flash their lights as a warning.
The overall effect is that they're increasing the safety awareness on that road. If it means that we don't book someone for speeding, we don't.
But plenty do get a ticket. In just 3 hours, officers hand out 65 infringements, mostly for speeding, some for using mobile phones, and 3 drivers not wearing seat belts.
If we can save lives on the roads by doing these actions, that's our main point, saving lives.
The Minister is stunned so many flout the basic road rules.
It's totally unacceptable. It's quite disgraceful, actually.
While the back streets may flow faster, according to cops, that's no excuse to use them as a racetrack.
It is any time, anywhere that we will pop up, even down the rat runs, down the back streets.
If you know of a rat run being treated as a racetrack, police want to hear from you.
News. There's anger and shock tonight after a killer drink driver was allowed back on the roads early. The woman was banned from the roads after a fatal crash that killed a woman and left her husband disabled for life.
A drink driver killed Rod Christensen's wife and left him permanently disabled. This morning, 9 News told him she's allowed back on the road.
She has got a licence to kill. And that's my biggest fear. To allow her to get it back on the road is just atrocious. And I find that an insult.
In October 2012, Rodney and his wife Kerry were driving along 2J Road when 45-year-old Suzanne McKenzie, drunk with her 2 kids in the car, swerved onto the wrong side of the road.
I have lost so much as a result of her drunken experience.
Kerry was killed on impact. Rodney left with severe injuries. He now needs 24-hour care. Mackenzie was jailed for 2 years, her licence taken away for 5. But now she's out of prison and allowed behind the wheel. She's been riding her bike until now.
This extraordinary licence is about my ability to be a single mother, to work and get my children to and from school without putting them in the care of a third party.
The extraordinary licence lets her drop her children to school and drive to and from work. Despite the Department of Transport opposing the application, the judge still granted Ms Mackenzie the licence. The department says it's still working on trying to tighten the laws. The judge found public transport did cost too much, was time-consuming and inconvenient for Mackenzie.
I can only hope and presume that the magistrate, in granting the extraordinary driver's licence, has given due consideration to the victims in these circumstances as well.
But Rodney says he feels betrayed and has this message to the woman who killed his wife.
You took everything from me. There's nothing that you left.
Rebecca Johns, 9 News.
And later in the news, why so many drink drivers are granted e-licences and the new plan to make them harder to get. That's ahead.
Thanks for that, Ollie. Locals on a High Wycombe street are taking matters into their own hands to fight back against Hoons. They say a serious crash this weekend was the final straw, and they're going to take urgent action after years of dangerous driving.
John Dawson says Hoon drivers are so bad on Golden Crescent in High Wycombe, he doesn't feel safe in his own home.
Just huge wheelies, and you come out and look and you can't see nothing but smoke.
It's a reality that hit home over the weekend when a Hoon driver slammed into his next-door neighbour's house. John says he'll put up bollards to protect his own home.
And my house is right here with no protection.
Just up the road, Don Hallard and his wife almost fell victim last year when a driver did a burnout right in front of them.
The back end of his car, when he spun round, that's probably maybe 2 feet away.
Some of the residents 9 News spoke to believe the problem could have something to do with the location of a local primary school, with claims Hoon drivers use Golden Crescent as a bypass. Neighbours say Kalamunda Shire proposed putting islands on the street several years ago to stop speeding drivers, but the proposal was never followed through, and today the Shire wouldn't comment. Today we asked 9 News viewers for Perth's worst Hoon hotspots. We were inundated with examples, including Kalamunda Road High Wycombe, St Lawrence Drive Beachborough, Summerley Drive Clarkson, Egmont Road Henderson, Old Nangara Road Lansdale, Old Mandurah Road Racetrack and South Street O'Connor. Ben Hennessy, 9 News.
Police are searching, Sean.
Thanks, Sean. It's been revealed almost 1,000 bad drivers who've lost their licence are allowed back behind the wheel every 6 months. Courts let them on the road under an extraordinary licence. Now, the government wants to tighten the laws to protect public safety.
The devastation Tennille Zammit feels today is the same as it was 8 years ago when her sister Fiona was killed by a drink driver driving the wrong way.
I've got children now that don't know their auntie. They've never had the opportunity to know her love, and that's the hard thing, is moving on.
That sorrow turns to anger when she hears of drink drivers applying for an extraordinary licence.
You feel like, as a victim, you're not being heard.
The most recent figures from the Attorney General's office show in the first half of last year, almost 1,500 extraordinary licences were applied for. 64%, or 957 of those, were granted.
You should not have a right to apply for a licence because it's an inconvenience to you.
The number of e-licences handed out has fallen since 2012 after serial drink driver Mitchell Walsh McDonald was granted one. He knocked down and killed schoolgirl Jess Mean in 2003. A court can only issue an e-licence if it believes the applicant can't access medical treatment, earn money or travel to and from work without driving. Now the government's drafting changes to the Road Traffic Act to ensure public safety is the main consideration.
A driver's licence is a privilege in Western Australia. It's not a right.
By the middle of next year, convicted drink drivers will likely only be granted an extraordinary licence if they fit their vehicle with an alcohol interlock device, a breath-testing immobiliser which will prevent a car from starting if the driver's been drinking alcohol. Josh Yerger, 9 News.
Results.
News.
2 men have been arrested, but another 2 are still on the run after a high-speed police pursuit through the southern suburbs. The men are wanted over a string of burglaries.
Terrified residents watch on as dozens of officers arrest a suspected car thief.
I'm shaking.
Just after 11 this morning, this BMW failed to stop the police in Fremantle, sparking a short chase. Officers lost sight of the car in Spearwood, but managed to swoop again a short time later in Hamilton Hill.
I heard the sirens and then I came out of the house and there was police all over.
Only one man was found inside the car when police closed in. He refused to get out. Officers forced to break their way in.
They were breaking the window of this car and they were dragging this guy out from the car.
It's understood another 3 people ran from the scene.
We're going to get another one.
One of the men was caught in nearby bushland. Another 2 are still on the run. The BMW was stolen from a house in Winthrop last night. The 2 men, aged 17 and 19, will be questioned over a string of burglaries and car thefts in the southeastern suburbs. Mia Brankov,
9 new hotspots as part of a crackdown on dangerous drivers. The government says a successful trial will see dozens of cameras rolled out across the state. Cindy Larenchik reports.
It's this sort of reckless behaviour police say could kill someone. And the government wants it stopped. 24 covert cameras will be hidden around the state to catch hoon drivers in the act. This is just one of 6 caught in the first 2 weeks of a trial.
These cameras will be deployed in all sorts of areas, be they rural, be they metropolitan known hoon spots.
You will not know where these cameras are. They are not obvious. They're almost impossible to spot. You will not see them installed and we will get you.
The hidden cameras are positioned to capture the car's registration, placed at known hoon hotspots.
Police will make an application to have those vehicles impounded, consistent with the hoon legislation, and the standard hoon offences will apply to the driver of those vehicles.
Last year, about 1,800 vehicles were seized under hoon legislation. With these cameras in place, police will still rely heavily on public information, with about 4,000 complaints made each year.
To make this work, we need the support of the community because these cameras will be deployed based on intelligence.
Contact your local policing teams and report those spots because we have got cutting-edge technology now to help catch those drivers.
Cindy Larenchik, 10 Eyewitness News.
2 women killed in a car crash in our state's north.